We're here with OJ, the Honorable Mr. Michael Leachin. Welcome to St. Elizabeth, sir. Welcome to Treasure Beach again.
Thank you very much for having me today.
Yes, I hope you enjoyed the ride down.
Well, I'm happy to be here.
Yes.
Because the last time I was here, it was the exact opposite
Yes.
of what I see today. So, on behalf of NCB, thank you very much for hosting us today.
Definitely. All right. So social media in preparation. We have been advertising today. And social media. Person in general. They have asked me to ask you a few questions. So let me just state the first one. The first question that they have asked me to ask is, what inspired the establishment of the Building a Better Jamaica Fund, and why was it so important to create?
Well, you see, when your back is against the wall, when you're in a state of despair, you just need a little bit of help from family as the first concentric circle, from
Yes.
community, from country. And we all know what it is to feel despair. And when an exogenous event like a hurricane comes,
Yes.
we have to make sure that we show some care for our brethren, because it could happen to us.
Yes.
And one day it will happen to us. And we'd like to know that the good that we did will come back to us. But that's not why we're doing it. It's because we are caring for others. We're caring for our brothers and sisters who at the time felt despair. And it would be very callous of us,
Yes.
not to have the feeling for helping our fellow man. And those of us who can, should.
Yes. I mean, for persons like myself who are from St. Elizabeth, and we heard what happened. Persons saw bits and pieces on the media, but when you came down here and you toured the affected areas in the aftermath of the devastation of Hurricane Beryl, what were your reflections on the impact that you witnessed firsthand at that point?
Wow, where do we start? Because it was just total chaos.
Yes.
Where do you start? Well, when you're in it, it's even worse. Where do I start? Because I'm in it, and my house is devastated. I don't have any septic system. My toilet is, I can't use my toilet. There's no electricity. There's no internet. Nothing. No food. Where do we start?
Yes.
So that's when the external community, it's important for the external community to realize that our fellow brothers and sisters are in a state of despair, and we need to jump in. So when I came down, I saw chaos, I saw huge need, and I thought, wow, how fortunate the rest of us Jamaica are that it didn't come to our home. And therefore, since it didn't come to our home, all of us have to make sure we chip in and chime in. And we had to take leadership to start,
Yes.
just to catalyze it,
Yes.
which we did.
Yes. Well, I can tell you, the residents of St. Elizabeth, if you have some time this evening, I'm not sure, but and you move around, they will tell you how much they appreciate what you did and the NCB Foundation. In fact, I just want to ask you, what stands out to you as the most significant achievement of the Building a Better Jamaica Fund?
The most significant achievement is that a lot of people actually felt it, and they actually put their money where their feelings were.
Yes.
Right? A lot of people realize that, oh my gosh, again, this could be me. So I can help, so I am helping. So it's just the congealing of people who felt for their fellow man, and they participated in an active way through the fund.
Yes.
And when the best way to congeal a country is to have an external threat. That's when everybody comes together.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And everybody, well, a lot of people came together to help the affected areas.
It was amazing.
And they did it through the NCB Building a Better Fund. And today I'm sitting here, I came back today, and I'm thinking, we're Beryl. That's a Beryl.
Yes.
We're Beryl.
Boy,
So
that
just shows the success.
Yes.
And it shows what we can do when we are congealed, when we come together, when we feel for each other, and there's a lot of heart in it. Money is fine, but there's a lot of heart in it also.
Yes. I mean, it's still stuck in my mind. Those images, you know, that 24 hours after I drove through, you know, as you spoke to. Well, I didn't know, because when I saw the light poles down, for example, I was saying, boy, it's next year before these come back up. But finally, Mr. Leachin, because I know the audience is waiting for you. The BREDS, the BREDS Build Back with Love event celebrates those who contributed to the rebuilding efforts in Treasure Beach. Why do you believe it's vital to recognize the individuals and organizations involved in these recovery efforts?
I came down here today because when I came during the crisis,
yes,
I saw the work being done by the BREDS Foundation. And it humbles me. It humbles me because when people are working selflessly, and they go over and above, and they put themselves at the back of the line and put everybody else at the front of the line, that is to be respected.
Yes.
So I am here to pay my respects to the BREDS Foundation and all the ecosystem surrounding the BREDS Foundation, because you stepped up and you demonstrated to us what true caring is all about. You demonstrated what true empathy is all about, what true love is all about. You just didn't talk, and we're good in Jamaica to just talk, right? You actually did. So congratulations, BRED. We need more BREDS around.
Okay, Mr. Leachin, I want to thank you for talking to us here on BOJTV. We are live right across the world. You know, persons in the international diaspora, they're watching you, they're listening to you, and I know they'll hear you when you take the podium. But on behalf of the production team here, we just want to thank you, you know, for everything that you have done. And final words are yours as you speak to those watching online.
Well, you know, BREDS really is a role model to me, because actually my personal mantra is prosperitas cum caritate, which is loosely translated, doing well by doing good.
Yes.
BREDS cannot do well because it's a philanthropic organization, but it certainly is doing good. So we need to make sure that those of us who are fortunate and can help BREDS support BREDS, because we need more BREDS in Jamaica to provide the resiliency to our citizens when times are the darkest.
Yes. All right, thank you very much. We're going to go back to the main stage. Things are about to start right here. It is the Build Back celebration down here in Treasure Beach. We're saying thank you
so
to
much
everybody.
To be thankful for. And so we are going to sing this chorus. Thanks, thanks. I give you thanks. Many people in here know it, so we'll join our voices together and we'll sing. Thanks, thanks. I give you thanks for all you have done. I am so blessed. My soul is at rest. Oh Lord, I give you thanks. One more time. What thanks, thanks. I give you thanks for all you have done. I am so blessed. My soul is at rest. Oh Lord, I give you thanks. If you have enough to give God thanks this afternoon, let us shout, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for all you have done. God has done so much for us, especially us in Treasure Beach, and all you sponsors and donors who came to our rescue. We have to say thanks. But it is the God in you that allowed you to do what you do. Let us pray. Father God, the great Jehovah, there's none like you. All the other gods are the work of men, and you are the one true God. This evening we come with a grateful heart to say thanks to our donors and to our sponsors who are helping us rebuilding Treasure Beach. Father God, I put each and every one of them into your hand. You know them individually, and you know the place from which they are giving their contributions. So Father God, I pray your blessings upon each and every one. And I say thanks to you, because without you, God, driving it, we wouldn't be here this afternoon. So thanks to everyone. Thanks to you, mighty God. Be with us this evening and help the proceedings to go in your way, not our way. Let self be slain and you be glorified, O God. In your name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Mrs. Moxham. At this point, I'm going to invite Miss Lucy Moxham of the Treasure Beach Women's Group to bring a very short greetings. And ladies and gentlemen, our greeters, we're going to ask you to try to keep those greetings to 2 to 3 minutes as we work on our time schedule.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I bring you greetings from the Treasure Beach Women's Group. We work alongside with the BREDS Foundation and other organizations. And this evening we are proud to come here to say thanks to our sponsors and donors for building back Treasure Beach with love. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Moxham. That's a very popular name here. Member of Parliament, Honorable Floyd Green has arrived. Mr. Green, you can come to the front. I now invite Ms. Rebecca Wersmore from the Destination Marketing Group. Where is Rebecca?
Careful or I'll sing. Good afternoon, everyone. Wow, my heart is full. Really full. All protocols observed. On behalf of the Treasure Beach Destination Management Group and Treasure Tours, I would like to sincerely thank all of the donors who have made so much for our community's possible for our community's progress and rebuilding possible. For those of you who have made financial and/or material donations, we thank you. For those of you who donated your time, we thank you. We hear often that Treasure Beach is a blessed community. But when something like Hurricane Beryl hits, sorry, I don't know why I'm so emotional. When Hurricane Beryl hits, that is when we prove we are indeed blessed. Obviously not in the fact that the hurricane brought so much damage and destruction, but in how we react to the crisis. Once everyone checked in on each other and found out, thank God, everyone was safe, the rebuilding began and continues. Thanks to your generous donations, we are able to physically show the results of all the many blessings received. It would be impossible to call out the names of all who helped, but I do have to call out 5 names, as they have truly sacrificed so much to help so many. Jason Hensel, Dennis Abrahams, she's not here today, but Cecilia Moxham, Kamar Green, and Sandy Tatum. I don't know if she's here or not either. Our community is truly indebted to you. These people have been on the ground every day, sacrificing so much of themselves, of their time with their family, not even able to rebuild their own places because they've just sacrificed for others. So again, a round of applause for them. At one of our Hurricane Relief Committee meetings, Kurth Bob said, "Our neighbors are global." Boy, was he right. Thank you again to all our neighbors, far and wide.
Thank you very much, Rebecca. I am going to invite Mr. William Macias from Food for the Poor to bring his greetings.
Thank you. Mistress, Master of Ceremonies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you greetings and apologies on behalf of our chairman, Mr. Andrew Mafood, who wanted to be here but was unable to attend today. Food for the Poor Jamaica coordinated a comprehensive mobilization of resources to facilitate and rebuild the communities in the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl, which struck the island on July 3rd. We've been focusing on helping families and small businesses recover after suffering major losses. And today, over 120 days later, and while a sense of normality is returning to affected communities, we still have more work to do. As most of you can imagine, the most hard-hit parishes of Clarendon, Manchester, and St. Elizabeth have been at the forefront of our relief efforts. We are encouraged and continue to work with partnerships with Jason and his team at BREDS, along with the NCB Foundation, along with American Friends of Jamaica, GEM, and so many others, too many to mention here tonight. We would like to take this opportunity and just say a big thank you to everybody who donated and came together to make this happen. So just to give you some stats. So over the past 4 months, approximately 24,000 lives have been positively impacted from various recovery activities. We have distributed close to 5,000 care packages, which include food and toiletries. However, the most pressing need remains in housing repairs, particularly in roof restoration. To date, we have directly improved the living conditions of over 700 individuals through our ongoing roof repair activities. Unfortunately, our food agricultural sector was heavily impacted by the hurricane and is therefore another key focus on our ongoing recovery efforts. Farmers and fisher folks experienced severe losses, affecting scores of families and food production island-wide. Agricultural projects are currently being implemented to further the redevelopment of their farms, directly benefiting close to 100 individuals and impacting over 300 more. Additionally, over 600 farmers and fisherfolk have benefited from tools, relief packages, and training. So we are so encouraged when we're able to help persons like Agatha McDonald, a centurion residing in Portland Cottage in Clarendon, who benefited directly from our housing repairs. Her family had to evacuate their premises before the hurricane hit, only to return to a roofless house. Following the renovations, Miss McDonald's daughter and caregiver shared her thoughts about the experience that they endured. And I quote, "The house gone." No, the house wasn't gone. No, I mean the house top gone. We were left empty after the hurricane. But thanks to all the donors and Food for the Poor for coming to our rescue and helping to fix our roof. Glory to God for all things. And that was the sentiments we keep hearing and hearing everybody who we helped. Another person who benefited from our relief efforts was Michelle Parchment, a farmer from St. Elizabeth. And like so many other residents in the community, her livelihood was placed on pause because the hurricane had passed through. And she said, I was doing pretty well, but then Hurricane Beryl came along. I had 80 chickens, 4 weeks old. The hurricane took all of them, and along with the coop, and the chickens all drowned. I lost everything. So as part of our recovery efforts in the parish, we assisted Miss Parchment with a new chicken coop and baby chicks, and today her business is thriving. She expressed her gratitude and said, it is nice and needed gesture, and to get the chickens is a great and big start for all of us who benefited. Whatever I earn from this, I plan to put it back into my business, maybe even expand the business in the future. My family and I are in a better place because of all the help we receive. Food for the Poor work has garnered support from both local and international partners, enabling additional projects in greenhouse repairs, back-to-school grants, training for fisherfolk, installation of community water points, mental health sessions, and the restoration of a health center in Rocky Point and Clarendon. At Food for the Poor, we certainly understand the importance of not just providing immediate relief, but helping others to build resilience for the future. Our focus is to ensure that families, farmers, and fisher folks can rebuild sustainable. And thanks to our many partners, we're seeing resuscitation in the communities and sectors that were impacted. We remain committed to supporting families and communities, focusing on long-term resilience and sustainable recovery. With a humanitarian spirit of compassion and love that we have experienced from all our partners, we are confident that better days are ahead, and we're grateful that after 4 months, a sense of normality is finally returning to the affected communities. On a personal note, I just want to share something with you. As I look out and I see all of us who have been affected by Beryl, I spent the last 3 years in Ukraine in the war with my family. And while we can build back here, just imagine you trying to build back and bombs are dropping around you and blowing up what you have built. And it's freezing weather, cold. So we are blessed here in Jamaica to have only had the hurricane pass us, which didn't last long, but gives us the opportunity. No lives were lost. I watched children die. I watched adults losing their families. So we are blessed to be here, guys. And I just want to share that with you, just to encourage you that no matter how difficult life may appear, there is others out there who are far worse than we are here in Jamaica. Our prayers continue, and we believe that our efforts are divinely blessed here as we remain committed to serve others, which is best captured from the teachings of Christ, as he reminds us that inasmuch as you have done it unto one of the least of my brothers and sisters, you have done it unto me. Thank you for your time, and may God bless and keep everyone safe.
Thank you, Mr. Massas. At this time, we're going to hear from our farmers briefly, after which we'll have Mr. Hensel, followed by our guest speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Treasure Beach farmers, we want to say a big thank you to all the donors who made this possible so that the farmers and their family can get their lives started again with seeds, fertilizer, and irrigation, so their farming can get back off to a start. Again, we want to say a big thank you. Without you, we don't know how we could have made this far to recover from the Hurricane Beryl that impacted all of our farmers in the community. Thank you again, and we hope that you continue to do this when the need arises.
Thank you, Junior and team, we heard from the males. Now the new face of food, as the minister says, is the females. Sorry guys, and the young ones. So we now hear from the female farmers briefly.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of all the women farmers through the BREDS Foundation, we would like to say a big thank you to all the donors who came on board to support us after the passing of Beryl. It was well appreciated, it is still well appreciated, and thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies. Of course, the ladies, as ladies, we're powerful. We do everything, and we do it better than our counterparts. At this time, I invite our chairman of BREDS, Mr. Jason Hensel, to give an overview of the project.
Thank you very much. Sponsors, partners, and beneficiaries, it gives me tremendous pride to provide an overview of the significant role that BREDS has been so honored to play due to the passing of Hurricane Beryl on July the 3rd, almost 6 months ago. Okay, I know I'm short, right? It had been 20 years since the last serious hurricane, and many thought it would have missed us. But hearing the name Treasure Beach being mentioned repeatedly on the Weather Channel, CNN, and Fox Weather was surreal and becoming very concerning. Before heading to bed the night before, I wrote a brief message to our Prime Minister. It has become evident that Treasure Beach will be badly affected and without communication. Please come quickly, as soon as you possibly can. It was the following morning at 11 a.m. when I saw him here right at the sports park land his helicopter. Within a few hours after that, my phone rang because very few calls were coming through, and it was Thalia Lynn, right? The chairman of the NCB Foundation. Thalia is a familiar voice in times of need. She was offering to match funds, and the following morning, I joined a call that my sister Justine and business partner set up with Michael Capone of GEM. Michael was a friend of Marlon Hill, Diaka Morrison, and Oliver Mayer, who said he would have a plane of supplies within 3 days on the tarmac in Montego Bay. He said it would have been loaded with 1,700 care packages, 15 generators, and 300 tarpaulins. We quickly formed a group of trusted souls, similar to what we did right after Hurricane Ivan. Each of these individuals knew every single district intimately, and we agreed on the approach of how to distribute, starting with Great Bay in the east and moving westerly. One of the joys of this journey was seeing Gina Mayer alongside young Lake Abrams, Lakey, typing hundreds of names of recipients into their phones for data collection. We distributed the generators to small cook shops among our 8 districts that would allow persons to charge their phones, one to the police station, the police training academy, and one right here at BREDS that was hooked up to a Starlink which allowed persons to communicate to their loved ones. The immediate and most important need was drinking water, some of which was generously donated by William Mafood of Wisinko within 3 days. A discussion with Minister Matthew Samuda, revealed that the NWC had 225 wells and at 43 generators. of which only one could be moved to middle quarters to serve the Black River Hospital and town, and that we were going to have to help ourselves. I turned to my new friend at GEM, Michael Capone, and asked if he could reach further into his pockets and to provide an additional $42,000, being half the cost of the generator, as I was sure I could hopefully convince NCB that they could match the purchase of the required unit. And I see Michael putting his head down. That generator was purchased at a cost of $84,000 US. Due to the support of Howard Ward, of Ward's Power Tools, we had water back into sections of our community within 7 days. Within a day of that, we would hear the cry, the needs of the residents of Great Bay and Flagaman, which was served by another pumping station in Little Park. The funding for a further $68,000 was needed for that second generator. This money came from the JHTA, Micro Meditations, and the Tourism Enhancement Fund. Witnessing the first generator being turned on and water flowing, with my son Max, Michael Leachin, Sonia Leachin, Thalia Lynn, Floyd Green, and Dennis, was a moment of joy that I will never forget for the rest of my life. The following week, we were invited to the launch of the NCB Matching Fund Initiative, and we're honored to know that BREDS would have been one of 4 NGOs originally selected to participate, along with Food for the Poor, United Way, and the American Friends of Jamaica. Michael Capone accompanied me to this launch after having breakfast with Joe Bogdanovich and Marcus Richards of H&L and Bruce Bicknell of Tanquil, who both offered to donate personally and to offer meaningful discounts and credit. Within a few days, a great friend, Liz Soames, had a discussion with Wendy Hart and Karen Chung of the American Friends of Jamaica, who agreed to immediately set up a window for persons to donate to BREDS, to donate to Treasure Beach via BREDS. With this in place, we reached out to our database of visitors to Treasure Beach over the years, and the response was truly overwhelming, ranging in contributions from $20 US all the way to $15,000 US. Within a short period, the news spread and others started to come forward with fundraisers and fundraising ideas, including a squash tournament, a pickleball tournament, a picnic and auction in Cape Cod, a jazz concert in New Orleans, a 5K in Berlin, and only 3 days ago, a 5K walk in London put on by Joshua Swaby, a young man originally from Lover's Leap. The generosity of Tanquil, particularly in the first month, was huge. At one point, we owed them $22 million, and I didn't have the first to give them. With roofing material in hand, we now had to move into how to distribute this in a fair and equitable manner. And it is here that BREDS director, Captain Dennis Abrahams, was able to draw on his extremely valuable, in-depth knowledge of thousands of residents who live in our communities. As our committee met daily, we discussed the logistics of unloading material, usually from 18-wheeler trucks, storage in the offices of the DMO, the Food for the Poor distribution, and right behind me here, the bread source. One night, so many trucks appeared that we had to send for Mas Harry's keys for the restaurant so that we could store lumber in there. He never hesitated. We have to thank so many of our community members who volunteered their time, alongside trainee constables of Batch 157 from the Tranquility Bay Police Academy, who worked tirelessly and never complained. We will remember Beda from Billy's Bay making a trailer from an old car chassis, and Kim with her younger sister Nana delivering material from early in the morning till late at night. By this time, my wife Laura and her friend Orla started to collect food items and clothing in Kingston. At one point, I could hardly get into my house in Kingston because it was so overwhelmed with food and clothes. We quickly became so overwhelmed that we had to ask the Treasure Beach Women's Group to coordinate this from their offices in Old Wharf. Food items also came from Separad, CPJ, Price Smart, and mattresses and household appliances from a young Noah Azan. Justine had a particular concern about the elderly and vulnerable and worked closely with Cecina, Kemar, and Celeste to expand the path list that was available from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. They did in-depth research in the field and expanded that list from under 200 names to over 400 names. Rebecca coordinated vouchers to the hardware stores and worked with Miss Norma, Kamar, and Lucy to assist 200 farmers with vouchers to farm stores valued at $35,000, $65,000, and $100,000 depending on the size of their farm. I pause here for us to show appreciation, special appreciation, to Miss Sonia Lee Chin. Where is she? Each of the beaches, including as far down as Parati, to distribute 320 rolls of fishing wire, including fishers even who live here but fish on the Pedro Key. Today, we are extremely pleased to have delivered roofing material to 513 homes, wire to 174 fishermen, vouchers to over 200 farmers, and assisted the 319 students get back to school. Those two generators have distributed water to close to 10,000 residents, and we could not have done this without this partnership. We are so proud that despite persons saying that Treasure Beach was overserved, we extended the support from the 8 districts in Treasure Beach to reach 33 districts. We could not have done any of this without you, our sponsors, partners, and volunteers. I want to thank the Jakes family for allowing me the space and the time to focus on the needs of our community for an extended period of time, and in particular, a Dinah and a Nikki who straddled both Jakes and BREDS. Another person I need to highlight is Oral E. Banks. The locals would know him as what? Buccaneer. Where's the Buccaneer? The Buccaneer is there. Let me tell you, Buccaneer is somebody who, he's the owner of Kingfisher Plaza, where despite us only renting 3 shops, he allowed us to turn over the plaza into what resembled more of a lumber yard than a plaza. Other occupants at Kingfisher, I must also say, they never complained, and they followed the very thinking of Oral, saying, once it is good for the community, we will fully support it. Right, Ms. Joyce? And from a personal point of view, I want to thank my sister, my mother, wife, and 2 children, Say and Max, for being a tower of strength to me for the last 6 months. You heard me recall stories with tears in my eyes of joy and sorrow. You've seen me at my weakest and my strongest. You have seen me at my most vulnerable and my most victorious, and I thank you and love you very much.
We heard it from our chairman, and you see when he said if Buccaneer was here, remember what I said about the women earlier? All right. So now we are going to hear briefly from our Member of Parliament while our officials prepare. So I invite the Honorable Floyd Green, Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, to bring greetings.
The team from BREDS, led by Chairman Hensel, of course, Michael Leachin, and the team from the NCB Foundation, all especially invited guests, all the donors, members of the Treasure Beach family. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Today is a good day. Today is a very good day. Definitely Hurricane Beryl has been the hardest part of my journey of service thus far. And I remember coming the day after, and I put it in context, the day before Hurricane Beryl, I spoke in the Pedro Plains Anglican Church at a graduation, and I see Consular White, who was also there, and I said to them that this one is tracking a lot like Ivan. We need to take it seriously. And I left the Pedro Plains Anglican Church and I came to check on the beaches. So I went to Great Bay, Calabash Bay. Now, juxtapose that to come in the day after and recognizing that the Pedro Plains Church itself was basically completely destroyed. That Great Bay looked like a disaster zone, the entire Treasure Beach. It was a very difficult moment seeing that. But I must tell you, the reason why we're here today is because of the people of Treasure Beach. And when I came out and I was with the Prime Minister and we were going around looking at the destruction, and clearly I looked, I guess, extremely sad. And a lady looked at me in Billy's Bay and she said, MP, why you look so? I said, how you mean why you look so? You don't even have a roof. She said, MP, we there, and once we're there, we can build back. That is the spirit of the people of this place. So I really want to thank all the partners. To be honest, when I saw the devastation, I thought that a year later we'll be having something of this nature because it was so widespread. In fact, you'll have heard Jason speak. Over 40 districts across Southwest St. Elizabeth suffered tremendous damage, with these 8 communities being some of the hardest hit. But I've always said that Treasure Beach and BREDS is a model of what can happen when the community comes together. And they have done it in good times, but they're even better in the bad times. I must tell you. Because of the level of organization, because of the level of network, because of the reach, people were able to channel resources to partner through BREDS. And when you are as government and you look at all the needs, if you have an entity that can mobilize support and can treat directly with people and communities, it helps in a big way. And BREDS and Jason, and I must single out Shaba and the entire team, but I single out Shaba because Shaba, you know, is the underground man. You have done a tremendous job. And that's true for all the groups. Working with Rebecca, working with the women's group, I think this is a testament to what can be done when we work together. Clearly, everybody has to get a big amount of thanks. I really want to commend Oliver Mayer and the team in Miami who worked with Jem. If you don't know him, he's our consul general, looking quite sharp, right? Did a lot of great work with the team there to mobilize Jem and to work with BREDS here and to have Jem on the ground within 3 days of the storm. And I think that's so important. Michael and the NCB Foundation, I'd say not just the matching grant, but what I appreciated is that you came on the ground to see the devastation. And I must tell you, Michael went into Chulu's farm and actually took up and ate some of his produce. And coming out of that, not only has Chulu gotten support, but what you don't know is he's already gotten his first reaping from the support. So he sent me pictures of his sweet pepper, and it looked like he make a money because sweet pepper price very good right now. Listen, it's a testament of what we can achieve when we work together. You know, the government has done a tremendous amount in relation to trying to build back from Beryl, but we couldn't do it without partnership. And we were able to channel our resources to build back Pedro Plains Primary School, build back Sandybank Primary School, knowing that BREDS is taking care of a lot of the underground issues in these parts. And that is how we work together. Same thing with our farmers, same thing with our fishers. Every farmer, every fisher suffered damage. The only way we could reach so many of them is by pooling our resources, and that's what we have done. So we are building back, but more importantly, we're building back better. And I'll close on this, because the beauty is that we haven't just looked at roofs, we haven't just looked at building back farms, but the project like the generator, which is not a short-term project, because the beauty is that even if electricity were to go today, the generator is still there right now to serve these communities. So we really are building back better. And I want to thank all the entities. I want to single out Food for the Poor as well, because they are a consistent support in and out. And I had the wonderful opportunity of meeting with AFJ, meeting with Karen on the ground right here. She again came to see what was happening. I really appreciated that. And I can tell you, there is more to come. The recovery is not just finished. Not because we're doing this, we know there's still people in need, there's still communities in need, and we will get to everybody over time. So I want people to take heart. This is a celebration of how far we've come, how quickly, but there's still more to be done. And the partners are still here with us to get that done. I can tell you, we had some wonderful conversation with AFJ about water and how we can treat some of our water issues long term. We're going to work on those. So today's a day of celebration. Today's a day to celebrate BREDS and our partners, but more importantly, today's a day to celebrate the people of Treasure Beach, because in them the resilience lies. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Green, Minister Green. We now hear from our fishing community.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good afternoon. I want to say thanks for all that we have received as fisher folks. If it wasn't for these donors, many boats would be on the sand high and dry. To Shaba, a thumbs up, brother. I didn't lose a nail from my roof. And when I come by and I see everything I distribute and I don't see no wire, I say, Shaba, warm to fisherman. He said, don't worry, Bug. Full no time I come and the farmers that come. So I want to say big thank you to the donors for helping us. Right now, I must say, I want to make it short, but I have to say something to our Minister of Agriculture. Lobsters is catching in abundance right now. No market. And thanks again to the donors, we can catch lobsters. But Mr. Minister, there's no market for the lobsters. And close season is up on us again. So please, sir, see what you can do. And again, I say a big thank you. Yes.
Come, say something fast. Say thanks fast.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And I just want to say thank you to all of the donors. Shaba, my right-hand man, that you know. So, Jason, yeah, man. Respect. But thank you. Really appreciate. One love, yeah.
Bug is a man after my own heart. You ask for what you want right on the spot. Don't wait. Speak it. At this time, I'm going to invite Miss Kiana Durant to do a poem entitled Education. Of course, Kiana is from the great Sandybank Primary School, of which I am the chairman.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'll be doing a poem titled Education, written by me. Education. Mr. Education are the key. If you want it, you go get it. You're not going to hear, please check in on no credit. Education is the only way to stop variation. If you don't have it, you end up in a starvation, even frustration, education.
Thank you, Kayana. Education is key, and I know Mr. Leachin and the NCB Foundation believes in education. At this time, I invite Mr. Mario Ibanks, our project manager, to do the introduction of our guest speaker.
All protocols addressed. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome you today to this special occasion. We are gathered here to hear from one of the most inspiring, accomplished individuals of our time, Mr. Michael Leachin. Michael Leachin was born on January 3rd, 1951, in Port Antonio, Portland. He was the first of 9 children born to his parents. Leachin attended Titchfield High School in the parish, after high school he studied in McMaster University in Hamilton. He graduated with a degree in civil engineering in 1974. Michael Leachin journeyed from a humble beginnings to become a renowned investor, entrepreneur, and a philanthropist is nothing short of remarkable. He received numerous awards, and as of such are Order of Jamaica for outstanding service in business and philanthropy, 2008. Entrepreneur of the Year, 1997, an honorary of Doctor of Law degree from several universities in Jamaica and Canada. His visionary and leadership, coupled with his steadfast commitment to community education, has positively impacted not only the business world, but also countless lives throughout his generosity and advocacy for meaningful change. Through his investment poise and his philosophy of nothing, doing well, doing good, Mr. Lee has not only built a global empire, but also shown the power of resilience, discipline, strategic thinking. His journey is a powerful reminder that with vision, dedication, hard work, great things can be achieved. Beyond his business acumen, Michael has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to social causes, supporting initiatives that focus on education, healthcare, empowerment of unserved communities. His legacy goes beyond financial success. It is one of transformation, inspiration, and profound generosity. Today we are fortunate to have the opportunity to hear from Mr. Michael Leachin directly. His insight and experiences will not only inspire us to reach greater heights, not just in our careers, but also in the way we contribute to betterment of society, as why we are gathered here today. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Michael Leachin as we looking forward to hear from his inspiring thoughts and stories. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. All protocols observed. How is it possible? Well, firstly, on July the 4th, 2024, when you all experienced the devastation, would you have thought that by November the 27th, you'll be looking at what you're now looking at? Would you have thought that? No. So how did it happen? Because if we can highlight what we did to have made it happen, then we can capture the formula to build a better Jamaica. right? So why don't we try to highlight what are the ingredients that went into this remarkable transformation, actually, that happened from devastation, abject devastation, from despair, from I don't know where I'm going to turn, from no water, no light, no internet, to in 4.5 months, a restoration of all, and the impetus, the inspiration to become a lot better than you were. So how did it happen? And what can we as Jamaica learn from this Treasure Beach? Let's call it the Treasure Beach model. What can we learn from Jamaica, for Jamaica, as to building a better country? Because ultimately, that's what we're all here to do. So what can we learn? So what are the ingredients, parts, that went into this success? Firstly, what can we learn? Building back the love. That's how it happened. Building back the love. Because it was love, it was care, it was empathy for our fellow men and women who saw despair. And those of us who were spared for no reason that we had anything to do with, we cared. And our care and love motivated us to do something. So it started off with building back the love and showing it with an expression of care, of empathy, and a realization that those of us who were spared, it had nothing to do with us. And next time, it can be us, it will be us, it could be us. So it starts off with having care for the fellow human being. And if we can capture the ingredient parts, we definitely can build a better Jamaica, which I had an indelible experience in my life on March the 22nd, 2002. I found myself at the office of the Minister of Finance on Heroes Circle at 2 p.m., just about to write the check to buy the National Commercial Bank of Jamaica. And I thought to myself, my mom was there, my dad was there, and my 8 siblings. And my mom, she started off life as an orphan, and she had me when she was 18 years old. So when she had me, she lost her job. She was kicked out of her job because she got pregnant with me. So she saw abject despair. And it was only through the generosity, the care, the love of the helpers, the maids of the local supermarket who took her in and who took me in and adopted us for the first 6 years of my life. Those were my formative years. Those were my formative 6 months because I was adopted. So my being here is a function of a community who cared, who had empathy, and who showed their care in adopting us. It was not just, oh my gosh, poor lady. They actually took action. So I started off my life being cared for. So the first thing that came to mind on that day, March 23rd, 2002, was, my gosh, I am here for many reasons that I had nothing to do with. And therefore, that is humbling. Because I did, number one, I didn't choose my mother. I was blessed to have been born to that one who had high aspirations, high expectations of herself, and who had high expectations of me, and she led by example. I was blessed to have been born to that particular lady. I didn't choose her, so I was blessed. Secondly, I'm here as a confident human being because I was born in an era in which I could get educated, I could own, I could aspire, I could dream, and it could be realized by hard work, by being smart and creative, energetic, hands-on, etc. But I could realize my aspirations. So I was fortunate to have been born, blessed to have been born in this era. Had I been born 250 years ago, I would have been owned. And thirdly, I was born in a country, Jamaica, that grew me up, nurtured me to be a confident human being. I didn't choose my country. I was blessed to have been born in this one. So at that moment, it became clear to me that the ultimate that I could do with this vessel that I'm about to buy, which is National Commercial Bank of Jamaica, is to make this vessel, NCB, a vessel to build a better Jamaica. So, because all of us here today are blessed. And we didn't choose our situation. We're blessed to have been to have this situation here. So now, it was easy for the NCB Foundation to have come to the conclusion that our brothers and sisters in the West, the Southwest, are in despair. It was easy, right? Because we know where we're coming from and we know what it is to face despair. So it was easy for us to say, we have to do something. Those of us who can, should. Those of us who can, we may not have all the money, but we can catalyze. We can use our access. We can use our emotions. We can use our podium to catalyze, to generate, inspire others to come forward. So what did the NCB Foundation do? It said, before you take the first step, you have to have a general idea as to where you want to before you take the first step. You have to have a general idea as to where you want to go, and then take the first step. And you have to persevere. It's not straight. You have to zigzag, and you have to whine and come, wheel and come again. It wasn't easy, but that's our attitude. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to say, actually the easy part was the fundraising. That was the easy part. Right? The hard part was, and the inspiring part was when we came down here and we saw what other philanthropic entities were doing, starting with BREDS. I felt inspired, motivated by just the love, the care, the personal sacrifices, and the selflessness. It just reinforced to me that those are qualities, are human qualities that we need to bottle, capture, and figure out how we're going to spread it across Jamaica. So, congratulations. Treasure Beach is fortunate to have the likes of Shaba. Fortunate to have the likes of a person like Shaba, who embodies all the qualities that every Jamaican should have. Treasure Beach is fortunate to have the Hensel family. Oh my gosh. Who embody what family, what leadership, what care, what humility, what aspirations for others is all about. And not shy to go out and say, this is what I stand for, and passionately call on all sources, all access points that they are privileged to have, and bring it to bear to Treasure Beach in this case to make the transformation that happened in 4.5 months, which is remarkable before the Christmas season and the tourist season. That is remarkable. So I just want to say congratulations. I respect, I am inspired. I'm so humbled by the Hensel family, led by the Firebrand. Where is Mrs. Firebrand? Where is she? The Firebrand. You are an example of what all of us should aspire to be. No. You are mommy. You are the matriarch. Okay? So you're not gonna win this one. We all agree to that, right? So guys, in summary, the Treasury Beach model is not only a model of that should be invoked in the times of crises, but it's a model. All of the ingredients are applicable to building a better Jamaica. All of the ingredients that were present, which would include, you know what? With Jamaica, we're going to call in our friends to help. We have lots of friends all over the world. And they love Jamaica. So we're going to call on them to help build a better Jamaica. You know what? Jamaicans, we are lovely people. We show our love. So when tourists come here, they feel it. Right? So we're going to make sure that we bring back building by bringing back the love. We want to show another component part of the success is empathy, care, and actually doing, and selflessness. So thank you very much for according us at NCB Foundation the opportunity to be a part of this model. And someone who is smarter than me should capture the elements that made it successful and figure out how we're going to radiate it to Jamaica as not a model for dealing with crises, but the opportunity that came out of this crisis was a model that is relevant to building a better Jamaica. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause for our guest speaker, please. You see, I believe Treasure Beach is similar to Mr. Leachin, resilient, determined. You hear? And he reaffirmed for us that we're a model community. We are indeed. We're a really special place. And I'm actually always happy to call it home. You know, MP, I realized that Mr. Leachin and Jason and Karen were trying to do something that you did at conference the other day, the dance-off, but you know, maybe we'd have to put the videos together and see which team won. But you know, but we are so happy for the support of NCB, and it was such a privilege to have had Mr. Leachin with us. We know he's a man that is very busy, And so we really feel privileged that in such a short space of time, we have had the pleasure of having him in Treasure Beach twice in a year. Thank you, Team NCB. At this time, I'm going to invite Mr. Oliver Mayer, Consul General from out of Miami, and one of our key persons to come and bring greetings.
Thank you very much. First of all, I just want to say, what a community here, sweet. Let's big up all the people of Treasure Beach. Do I look like a freshers, you know? And it's the first time I come here. I want you to know that I'm a regular person visiting the area. I came to the inception or the second year of Calabash. And I've been here every year. And I just want to big up Justine and the entire team from Calabash. Big up yourself. I thought I knew the only Shabba, and he was a DJ, but I realized I have a bigger Shabba right here, so, right? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Consul General of Jamaica, based in Miami, with responsibility for the southern United States, which include Florida, Georgia, Texas, North and South Carolina, Louisiana, Tennessee. We go as far west as Arizona. So we cover a large region. And on behalf of the Jamaicans living in the United States and all the members of the diaspora, we want to, from right here. I'm being extremely rude. Yes. And I just want to do one thing. Yes, definitely. No man, big up. Where's Rhonda? Yeah. The chairman has to leave, and we want to present our okay. Let's get a group. All right, so we're presenting to the chairman. Let's give him a big round of applause. Get a group. Yeah. Hold on. Jason, let's get a big group shot with Mr. Leachin with work. Just all the donors, yeah, all the donors. The donors, yeah. This is part of my speech here. This is all scripted, right? Yeah. Back to me. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be very brief. Just want to say, from all of us here, we want to say a big thank you to all the members of the diaspora who reached out to help and support. Let's give it up for the members of the diaspora. Not even 5 minutes. I went into the bar, I confess, had a drink, you're recording, was good. And in my mind I was saying, boy, bird can't fly on one wing. Before I could even finish the drink, I didn't say it aloud. The gentleman, Mr. Gordon Clark and Richie Eubank say, boss, hold another drink. Why do I make that point? One hand can't. We have to work together. We have to pull together. And this is a fine example of partnership. And here we have a situation where we had a big partnership and we have our young people joining us here. This is all part of the script, you know. Don't think it's a chance thing happening. You see all the rainfall earlier? Part of the script. But ladies and gentlemen, many members of the Jamaican diaspora got together, helped to pack containers for Global Empowerment Mission, for Food for the Poor. They gave through the website for AFJ, and full teamwork. We're in direct communication with one of the finest ministers, you'll all agree, Minister Floyd Green. And an example of a community group that I think should be replicated right across Jamaica. That is quick, responsive, respectful of all members of the community. BREDS, led by Jason Hensler and the entire team. Ladies and gentlemen, when we got the call, we got a SOS message from Diako Morrison, who is my childhood friend, right? She said, CG, you have to do something for the area. It's really, really bad. And at the time, we were working very closely with Jem, because I'm also head of the Caribbean Consular Corps group. And we were helping out Grenada at the time. And so we were meeting there every day trying to help Grenada. And in the midst of the crisis, helping out another nation. Michael Capone turned to me when we got the news report and said, CG, I'm sorry to say, look like you're next with Hurricane Beryl. And so we were on alert for Jamaica. Then we got the call from Diako. And I believe the first plane to arrive in Jamaica with relief was from Jem, Michael Capone and team. So we give thanks for that. And we're happy to have been a part of that effort. And we thank all those who assisted, Minister and the team, everybody who assisted in ensuring that this happened quickly and that relief items came on the ground. And we want to say that as we build back together, it takes partnership from everybody. Our young kids, rich, the poor, the elderly. It takes the entire community working together. And I close by leaving you with a verse that we all know well, that should continue to guide us. As we heard that great example about putting in a capsule what we need for Jamaica going forward. Is it to love thy neighbor as thyself? Turn to the person beside you and say, me love you like cooked food. And even if you just fight with them today, still tell them say you love them. Ladies and gentlemen, let's continue to love each other, love upon each other. Garden, buy me a beer already. I'm coming for somebody else to donate. One love. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You know, for a moment there, I thought you were from Treasure Beach. Maybe we should adopt you. Yeah, I think we should. We will now hear from the Newell High School Marching Band. Newell High School Marching Band, Talent Abundance in St. Elizabeth. At this time, I invite Ms. Karen Chong from the American Friends of Jamaica to bring greetings.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to be in Treasure Beach. I think we could easily theme today's activities public and private partnership collaboration. We could theme it love. We could theme it the strength of togetherness. And the one thing I know in this community is with the MP you have, Minister Floyd Green, and a pillar like Jason Hensel, whenever there is crisis, they will always find a solution. So you are a lucky community. In today's interconnected world, collaboration has become a cornerstone of effective nonprofit work. It is one of the tenets of the American Friends of Jamaica. By partnering with private sector and other nonprofits, we are able to enhance our outreach, share resources, and ultimately amplify our impact. During crises like Hurricane Beryl, effective partnership becomes even more crucial. Collaboration not only provides financial support, but also brings in logistical expertise and volunteer power. To get here today, we aligned our goals, established clear objectives, and those scheduled meetings and check-ins made for open communication throughout. The success stories not only reinforce the power of collaboration, but also showcase the impact to our stakeholders and donors, encouraging further support. Hurricane Beryl hit on July 4th. We are here 4 months later to celebrate the quick response, ability to leverage partnerships, innovate to achieve solutions, and the ability to adapt during an ever-evolving initiative. In the nonprofit sector, collaboration isn't just beneficial, it's essential for growth and sustainability. By forging partnerships with the private sector and other organizations, we have made a greater impact on the South Coast. As we move forward, let's embrace collaboration as a powerful tool for change. That's pretty much what Mr. Leachin was talking about. Finding that model or capsuling that model that helped us to get to the success here. On behalf of the American Friends of Jamaica, a hearty thank you to BREDS Foundation, Jason, Justine, Laura, and your team, NCB Group Chairman Michael Leachin, NCB Foundation Chair Thalia Lynn, Belinda Williams and her team, and the other NCB team members, Food for the Poor, Kivette and William Macias and the team, and the many others, Jem, Diaka, who have worked so hard to rebuild these communities. Through our collective efforts, we have been able to leverage and leave with a stronger message in Treasure Beach. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Chong. And we're so happy for our partnerships. We don't only have partnerships with FJ because of Beryl. We have had some very memorable other partnerships with them to build things for us children at the basic school. I remember, I think that was led by Laura, when we had the playground at the Sandybank Basic School. And they have helped, and Newell, so they have helped us in many ways outside of a hurricane. And we appreciate the partnership that we have with them. Again, thank you on behalf of BREDS. At this time, I invite our very own historian, as Mr. Hensel likes to call him, Mr. Earl Moxham, to bring greetings.
Good afternoon, everybody. And I just want to start by making the point that from the post-emancipation free village movement to the 1940s with that movement of social development into the cooperative movement in Jamaica, and we benefited from that right here in Treasure Beach through the cooperatives at Calabash Bay and Great Bay. We saw the manifestations of the sort of community spirit and togetherness that is today manifest in the work of BREDS. But since Jason sought to set me up as historian, I want to read something for you quickly that I wrote after Beryl struck. She was conceived in anger, and with a mighty roar, burst forth from nature's womb. With but a short time to live, she set out on a journey of destruction, sowing fear and reaping tears in diverse places. Those left behind weep not at her passing, but rejoiceth at her end. Beryl was born on the west of the African coast in the waning days of June. Malevolent of nature, she commenced her vengeful trek without delay, tearing a path across the Atlantic and into the Caribbean Sea. Had she been granted a passport, it would have recorded countless stops in that chain of unprotected islands, each left with vulgar scars on degraded landscapes. But Beryl heeded not the protocols of national borders. Such constraints were for lesser mortals. Jamaica's turn was on July 3. Surveying the damage from the hills to the plains the morning after and beyond was a journey of pain, of treasures lost, and insights gained. Through my blown-out window, I surveyed historic Hampton School. The most visible expression of Beryl's gall was the absence of half the chapel's roof. Hitherto, a sight to thrill the aesthetic taste, it had been reduced to crumpled metal and sagging board hanging askew. Journeying eastward along the corridor of destruction at the summit of Malvern Hill, down the trees and dangling power lines formed an obstacle course that defied easy conquest. Greater uncertainty awaited as we turned right and headed south along that narrow Round Hill Road, not knowing if there was a clear passage all the way down to its end at Peter Cross. And I saw our MP at the end of that journey that day when I traveled down. Thoughts of generations past then shifted to another group that for survival routinely made that trek down to and up from Peter along this narrow winding mountain road. I thought of Miss Miri, of Breda, and of Norman, among the multitude of vendors who descended the hill with produce for sale and then purchased fish at Calabash Bay for the northern journey home. The legendary leader of the group, though, was pugilist, that sturdy boxer, who with muscles bulging and perspiration descending, hoisted his giant basket of fish, and with loping gait attacked that hill, determined to quickly scale the summit and onto Monroe College in time for the meal to be prepared for ravenous schoolboys. It took me back to my own time at Monroe and the awe I felt that September morning in 1975. That mixture of anticipation and trepidation at conflict in the soul as the creaking bus swung through the gate and headed up the willow tree-lined avenue, wind whistling through wispy branches. Minutes later, it seemed we were ushered into this graceful chapel, its stone-cut walls accentuated by stained glass windows embracing the divine melodies emerging from the pipe organ, played by Nurse Gertig, while Headmaster Richard B. Roper doubled as conductor with vigorous movements of inspired hands, and voices deep and high joined in a rousing rendition of Guide Me, O Thou Great Redeemer. Half a century on, in this season of destruction, The only sound in this sacred place was a weeping wind intruding through broken windows, the floor strewn with fragments now stained with dirt, while light came streaming through breaches in the pillaged roof. And all around that city set upon a hill, Beryl's postcards lay, zinc sheets ripped from roofs, shards of glass, and the twisted fragments of board. Some so aged that they remind me that a century and a half ago, my revered ancestor, Joseph Keith James, once walked these grounds as well. Pedro Cross was a welcome sight, signifying that half the journey was done. It reminded me of great-great-grandfather Stephen Kuno Moxham, who, legend has it, made the regular evening trek on horseback from his home in Sandy Bank for social engagements at this very spot. Today, we would be retracing his journey in the other direction with a different kind of horsepower, the sight of which would no doubt have left him mesmerized had he lived much beyond his passing in 1908. Less than a mile below that intersection of traffic and history, our attention was arrested by a new source of sorrow. Beryl had cut a horizontal path through the aged roof of St. Peter's Anglican Church, leaving a lonely peak at both ends of the awe-inspiring edifice. A portion of the western structure was also given special attention, reduced to rubble sent crashing to the ground, finding haphazard space behind the tombs of members long departed. Soon enough, the scene shifted to another place of sorrow. Life in Sandy Bank had been dominated in the past by my Moxham, James, and Ebanks forebears. It was there that they mainly lived and moved and had their being. Central to that was their place of communal worship in the rustic plain meeting house. It had withstood all the storms of seasons past, but could not outrun this day of reckoning. There, lifted off and tossed to the ground, the decapitated roof bore sobering testament to the power of nature's guillotine. Another mile down the road, we stopped at the entrance of Jake's Hotel. From the road, barely visible through the assemblage of debris, we discerned the small iconic building that now serves as a focal point on the property. In that moment, however, my thoughts were not set on the visitors temporarily deprived of the now famous property's comforts, but on the generations of families that once dwelt there. Then my mind rested on one particular family and one peculiar member, our late friend, Arden Brenton Abrams, the tailor with the $1 million smile that belied this poor man's pocket. It was there that we went to have our pants made, but more importantly, to engage in friendly debate, as Arden, bare-chested and with his tailor's tape slung around his neck, directed us to matters of state with such enthusiasm that we forgot about the sewing machine standing idle, and with it, the diminishing hope of securing our newly tailored raiment that day or the next. Jake's will recover in defiance of burial, in defiance of Beryl's best efforts, and memories of our friend Brenton will long endure. Then take a right turn at Big Kasha Tree, past the Assembly of God Church, affectionately called Taba, and make another right turn up Glad Lane. And shortly thereafter, you will encounter a small building, its walls standing firm, defiantly still, but bereft of its roof that just could not hold on one last time from the forces of nature. This quaint building, or what remains of it, would tell many tales if it could speak its truth. Since it can't, my testimony, gleaned from listening to the stories of my elders, will have to suffice. This was a shop built by Thomas Parchment Jr., known as Uncle Tommy, a century ago, and is reputed to have been one of the first, if not the very first, formal stores opened in this community. Thomas's shop was small in size, but his ambition was large, as reflected in the wide variety of his inventory. This was the gathering point for the entire village, it seemed, each time a new delivery of goods was made to the little shop on Glad Lane. And so, as the horse-drawn carts descended Blunters Hill, the sound of the wagon wheels on the rough road and the drivers shouting orders to reluctant horses could be heard from miles around. This was a signal for eager shoppers to converge on the shop to get their first choices from this latest purchase of rice, flour, fishing supplies, fabrics of all colors and shapes. The children too were not to be left out, particularly at Christmas, as today's senior citizens often attest to the generosity of Uncle Tommy with their Christmas treats. For years, however, this once indispensable quaint structure had stood in a sort of historical indecision, unused and unforgotten by most. Now, perhaps, Beryl had made a fateful decision, as it has done for so many other pieces of history, while making some dubious history of its own. Thank you.
Historian indeed, but what I will always say, once you give a Monroe man a mic, they always have to mention the city on the hill. At this time, I'm going to invite Dennis Abrahams to bring greetings.
Greetings, everyone. Well, we have listened to some very, very interesting story. And, you know, I sit there and I watched each and every one of us here this evening. And, you know, we are so loved. Yes. And the reason I believe that we are so loved is that we have given so much love too. It is very special. You know, the 3rd of July, when this hurricane hit us, you know, it shook us apart. But when I wake up, and the first thing I try to investigate as early as possible is anyone lost life. And there was no one that was injured or lost. That was the 3rd. And the 5th morning at about 8 o'clock, I was home with my family trying to clean up debris and try to make things look good as early as possible. And I could hear a voice shout. I was at the back of the house and I heard Shabs, Shabs, and I knew that was Jason. And accompanying him was Justine, and he said, "Come, I come for you." And I said, "Lord have mercy, I know what this is all entail." But I was ready, I was prepared. I know we have been through it before in Dean and Ivan, and my good friend over there, Rebecca, as well. You know, we immediately get together and we said, you know, we must find a way to make it right, and we're going to do it. But with all of what's said is that, you know, we mention all our donors, all our sponsors that reach out to us. Some of this would never be possible without our dear visitor that visit the Treasure Beach community over the years, inside out, that immediately reach out and say, how can we help? And when I say our visitor, guys, I just want to make sure I make this clear, is that is our tourists that visit here over the years. They love us. They really do. Yes. And, you know, I listened to Mr. Michael Leachin just now, and he said, if there is this percentage, we're going to match it. Without those very same tourists, we will never raise anything to be matched. So I just want to take this opportunity here to tell each and every one of us, visitors are very, very important to this community, and without our visitor, it will never be the same. And I'm asking again, continue to give love to them. they will always give love to us. Yeah. I want to say a big thank you. I know a lot of people here this evening have, mentioned my name. But I could never stand here and I could never deliver what I did without a strong team. A team of people who love this community maybe more than I do. And some young kids that I see lift some plank and sheet of zinc, and I each time saying to them, be careful, man, you get cut. And they say, no, Cap, I know how to lift it. That means a lot to me and to this community. To my wife, Cheryl, I could never do this without you. And my son Lake was there for us as well. And the message that I want to leave behind, especially for youngsters that, grow up in this community, who love this community and want to be a part of this community, if you should ever have to do something that I did during this hurricane season, what you need inside of you is love. You have to have love to do this. You must care for people. Because when someone come into this challenging time and pouring out their problem on you, and the next person around the corner having the similar problem, and it's over and over, it's not a case where you can look at them and say, no, I can't help you. You have to explain how it is going to happen, how it will be done. And we are here for you, we are here to give you support. And tell you what, they will listen to you and they will be patient. And that's the reason why I could achieve this journey with the people that need us. I were there for them. They give me love too. So I want... To everyone again, I will close and I love you all, and Treasure Beach, I pray God will continue to bless us as a community, that we love ourselves, and we are very fortunate to have so many people love us and give us love and care for us. God bless you all. Love and happiness.
Thank you, Captain Dennis. We heard Shaba's name so many times throughout today's activities, and he was indeed on the ground. Sometimes it was frustrating, but he delivered, because you have 10, 20 persons coming at him on a daily basis, but he delivered. Big up yourself, Shabs. I don't believe I saw Mrs. Ellington. Hello. Miss Audrey, I'm sorry, my apologies. At this time, we're going to ask four of our educators, to bring some short greetings. And of course, we're also going to have Jem, and then we will call it a wrap for the evening. So at this time, I invite, since it's our one high school on this side, we're going to invite the principal, Miss Audrey Ellington, to say a few words. Miss Audrey Ellington.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. What a beautiful evening it is. And of course, God reminded us with the rain what we would have faced. And if you realize, I look at it as a blessing that since the hurricane, we continue to get rain as a reminder to be thankful in everything we do. And so this afternoon, we are giving thanks. We're showing the love to the persons who showed us love. And I must say that while I was on the other side of St. Elizabeth, it was just as devastating. But when I came back to Newell the Friday morning, and reached the gate and could not drive in because the mango tree was down, I said, what a wonderful God we served. Because as Shaba said, no one died, but the trees got a beating. But look around, 4 months later, we cannot say, could not say what burial would have been if God was not in it. And so it is a lesson for all of us, and for us in education, we struggled. We struggled. Our students struggled. Our parents struggled. And we are here to build back. But this afternoon, I want to say thanks to, and if my students, well, some of them are still here, but you know, when my boys are playing Mr. Green, I say my boys. So I want to say my chairman this afternoon, Mr. Jason Hensel. Stand for me, sir, and take a bow. He is one of a kind. He reaches out to each and every one, and he is very, very, very persistent. I do not know if you can say no to Mr. Hensel because of how persistent he is. I know you would have heard his story, and that is why he looks low to those who do not have, helping. And so, sir, I say it's because of your foundation that so many would have reached out to us in education. And I'm just going to share one story. You would have seen somewhere on the screen, if you look carefully, you would see myself and our team standing with a check of $300,000. The young persons who went to Berlin in Asia, in Europe, to run the 5K race, and they said it is for a high school, and they chose Newell High School. It was because of Mr. Hensel's daughter. They knew, and they reached out to Newell High School. And the beauty about it that filled my heart was that they drove down from Kingston one Thursday afternoon after school to present us with the check. And so, as was said by many persons here, education is important to all. And so I ask you that you continue to work with us, work with our youngsters. They are our future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Ellington. Ms. Desireen Gordon. Ms. Gordon is from the principal of Geneva Primary.
Madam Chairperson, our Member of Parliament, Mr. Floyd Green, Mr. Jason Hensel, founder of BREDS Treasure Beach Foundation, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good afternoon. As mentioned in Romans 8:28, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. This afternoon, I am called as an educator to bring greetings. Firstly, I must say, not only am I called to bring greetings, but for a purpose to serve those entrusted in our care, the nation's children. Hurricane Beryl would have impacted the lives of many of our students, the schools, and many families. This created challenges for us as a nation, a community, and a school family. Of course, uncertainties loom the education sector, especially in Southwest St. Elizabeth. as most persons pondered the next steps for the new school year in September. There were many schools that would have lost roofs, many families being displaced, and students were left traumatized. However, with the kind gesture of Mr. Jason Hensel, founder of BREDS Treasure Beach Foundation, NCB Foundation, GEM, and other persons and organizations whom recognize the importance of education of our students and played a very integral role by donating back to school supplies. And I pause here to say that the students, 40 students from our institution would have received back to school vouchers so they could be ready for school in September. I am certain you will agree with me that without education, the future of our nation is dim. So, as we continue the partnership to transform education for national development, I wholeheartedly extend gratitude on behalf of the Geneva Primary School family to Mr. Hensel and his team, NCB Foundation, other sponsors and partners whom would have made it possible for the teaching and learning to continue despite the challenges faced during the passage and aftermath of Hurricane Beryl. Let us continue to do our best as we build a stronger nation, schools, and community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Gordon. I had the task of going to Geneva. And let me tell you, here, Miss Gordon, Miss Jones, one more. One more. Beg you, one more. Miss Jones, they're in need. One more. Listen. And of course, as we speak, she knows I have 8 books, I believe, in my car that we got for Geneva again. You see, I think I'm getting old. Oh, yes, I do see her. I am so sorry. You know, the rows of Sandybank stick together. So I see our former acting principal, Miss Varon Parchment, and I invite her to come now.
Madam Chairperson, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am indeed honored to be given the opportunity to participate in this function. I must commend the BREDS Foundation in collaboration with the various organizations, groups, and individuals for embarking on such an initiative to assist the citizens of this beautiful community after the devastation of Hurricane Beryl. My knowledge of the BREDS Foundation is that it strives for excellence in their endeavors, always going beyond the call of duty to assist others, even though it comes with hard work, and I can tell you much faith and determination. As a proud member of this community, I am very impressed with how quickly they were able to organize and implement a successful relief program for the citizens of this community and its environs. It is the first time as a community we have ever seen such a magnitude of volunteers and substantial distributions that has brought hope to the lives of so many. I was here when it all happened. I saw the devastation. I heard the cry of hopelessness. I saw the fears and uncertainties. But I also saw the groups, such as BREDS and various individuals who sacrificed their time, energy, finances, and even their families to ensure that as a community, hope could be restored. We are not fully there. But looking back at where we were and where we are today, we have all the rights to celebrate, give God thanks, and honor all those who selflessly volunteer and contributed to make it happen. I want to remind those of you who have sacrificed so much that no effort you make to attain something beautiful is never lost. I personally want to thank those who have touched our lives in such a tangible way. May God continue to bless you all and bless our beautiful community of Treasure Beach. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Of course, you know I'm biased, so I saved. And principal, don't come at me now, but of course I saved the best for last. The Sandybank Primary, our acting principal, Ms. Angelina Powell Foster.
Madam Chair, our distinguished guests, thank you. Pleasant afternoon. I will add to what Shaba said. The day after the hurricane, all my concern was, is everybody okay? Is there any lives lost? So I endorse what you say. As an educator, I truly believe that investing in education is the greatest gift you can give. It empowers minds, transforms lives, and builds a future where possibilities are. On behalf of the students, staff, and parents of Sandybank Primary School, I extend our heartfelt gratitude. As the songwriter Coffee says, gratitude is a must. So I want to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our generous donors, sponsors. Your support has made a significant difference in the lives of our students, enabling them to access valuable resources and opportunities that enhance their learning experience. Honestly, many parents were of the opinion that when we as a school, after burial, hurricane burial, send out book lists, where that money is going to come from. They were more concerned about their food, their light poles that are down, their roofs that are gone, and yet we educators are concerned about books. But as what we say, education is the key to all success. Education does not just mean knowledge in terms of academics, it can be your skills. So we as educators, we endorse education. I will close by saying we are truly grateful to your commitment, all the sponsors, the donors. Big up yourselves. Thanks for your commitment to education and your dedication to empowering the next generation. We're getting older, we're leaving. Children are the future. Thank you once again for your invaluable contribution to education. God bless you all. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year for all those who I will not see.
Mrs. Foster, we're not on holiday yet. We have nearly a month to go before we go off on vacation, and we have to make up for all those missed times from Beryl and Raphael. So yes, miss, our children are the future, as you said. At this time, Jason, you found it? Okay, at this time, we're going to ask Ms. Dika Morrison from GEM to say a few words.
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's late. I'm not going to be long. I really want to talk about what you have done. You, the people, have done. I wear many hats. The one that I was asked to speak about today was GEM. And I really want to emphasize, and I hope that you are as inspired by what you do as we have been inspired by your resilience. You know, the power of the people is a very, very strong thing. I knew, where's Rebecca? I knew Treasure Beach was going to be mashed up because I sat with Rebecca years ago and she explained what happened every storm before. At 6 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, I messaged two of my friends, Marlon Hill, who was a visitor to Treasure Beach, and Consul General Oliver Mayer, who is my childhood friend, right there, who was also a visitor to Treasure Beach. So when Shaba says our visitors love us, and I can message them at 6 o'clock in the morning because they're my friends, and I answer the phone, and I said, SOS, Treasure Beach mashup. I wasn't even here, but I knew. We sent out the message and they responded and they were able to convince their friend, Mr. Michael Capone, to come to Jamaica. And he flew to Jamaica on the Friday. The plane came on the Saturday. Jason told you what came in the plane: generators, tarpaulins, kits. When he came in, I said, you have a generator that can power the water pumping station? No, but we can look at that. And that's important because what you have to realize is that the reception that GEM received here and the ability that they got to move things quickly in a smart partnership with the BREDS Treasure Beach Foundation is what has inspired GEM to do even more. So you are here, there are 8 districts in Treasure Beach because of your ability to raise resources. I keep telling people, think of Treasure Beach as a resilience hub for the region. Don't think of it as just Treasure Beach. Nearly 40 districts are being helped. Treasure Beach is only 8. So all of these other people are being helped because of what happened right here. I said Jason told you what was on the plane. Then he told you about the generator. Do you know what has happened since? Then he partnered with NCB Foundation to do a roof repair program. Then we at GEM partnered with IOM, which is a UN agency, to raise even more resources for resilient housing. So more roof repairs and other types of assistance. Don't finish yet. Then we have been in discussions with the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. My good friend here, the MP, Minister of Agriculture, Floyd Green, knows very much about that. Part of that component is to try to have people who've been working on roofs become HEART certified. That's what the discussion is about. So it's even more than just building roofs. So we're talking about real resilience. Don't stop there. GEM never had an office in Jamaica. GEM Caribbean is registered with headquarters in Jamaica. And just last week, when Michael was here, 2 more things happened. So you need to get him to come because every time he comes here, something else happens, right? 2 more important things happened. One, he was on a tour around here, and he's a builder. He's a contractor. He's a construction professional. And he noticed something, and it was bothering him. So he called Miami and said, empty out the warehouse and send everything you have. So, Oliver, that's me and you to figure out how we're going to get it all here for the mold, because it's been raining so long. Okay? So Nobody asked him. He saw it and he said, no, this can't work. And the last thing I will mention is that just to emphasize that the empowerment part is really important. Smart partnerships and doing things better. So he got here on Friday and he brought a plane the next day. The next time, he doesn't want to have to bring a plane. He's setting up a warehouse in Kingston. So I just want to say to you all here, because this gentleman came to Jamaica because of Jamaicans in the diaspora who were helping Grenada. We were helping our brothers and sisters, and then we were next. That is how the story really goes, right? And because of the reception he received here on the ground, as Shaba said, with the love that you give back, and your genuine need and your genuine way of operating, and we do everything by the book, right, Jason? We write down everything. That has now moved from that incident to where we are now and building for the future with even more partners. So you here in Treasure Beach, please feel very proud of yourselves and be inspired by yourselves for what you were able to do and play in this journey that all of Jamaica is going to benefit from. We suffered here, we suffered down here, but all of Jamaica is going to benefit from this pain. Thank you.
Thank you, Diaka. Exciting to hear that Jem is setting up a base here. But we hope and pray here in Treasure Beach that it's going to be a long, long time before we ever have another hurricane. I would like to at this time acknowledge Miss Rhonda. Rhonda Bennett worked with the children and they created these beautiful masterpieces. Pick up yourself, Rhonda. But not only has Rhonda worked with the children, what Rhonda has also done is that Rhonda is now visiting Sandybank Primary School and having arts and craft classes for our grades 1 to 3 students. And of course, she's reminding me she's also at Little Fish as well, and the Salvation Army. So Rhonda is not only doing this that she did there, but she's helping and impacting our youngsters in this field of arts and craft. Big up one more time for Rhonda. At this time, I invite Miss Melissa Taylor. Where's Mel? Melissa will give us the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant afternoon to you all. It gives me immense pleasure to be standing before you to give thanks to our amazing donors, sponsors, and partners who came to our rescue from the devastating visit of Hurricane Beryl by putting hands and hearts together in assisting and rebuilding Treasure Beach and surrounding community, a total of 31 districts and counting. With love, kindness, and support, without each one of you, Treasure Beach wouldn't be half of what it is today. From the issuing of hot meals, non-perishable items, toiletries, construction materials, to the nails and manpower needed to complete the jobs. Even giving generator to assist in communities getting back their water supply. And surely took care of the females, giving out little beauty kits, reminding us we don't need to look or feel like our situation, just to name a few. You really did God's work. And for that, words can't express our gratitude and time can't repay what you did for us. Mr. Jason Hensel and friends, Treasure Beach family wholeheartedly says thanks to you all for all the calls you made on our behalf in the midst of all the chaos and confusion. When all seemed dark, you were the light in the tunnel. To all the volunteers who were there each day making sure items were being delivered, going days without breaks, we appreciate and thank you. For the blessings we see and those unseen, for the answered prayers and the grace in waiting, we are thankful to God, our donors, sponsors, and partners. Special thanks to GEM, Global Empowerment Mission, American Friends of Jamaica, NCB Foundation, Helping Hands Jamaica Foundation, ATL Jamaica, H&L Agro, BREDS Treasure Beach Foundation, Words Power Tool, Jamaica Hotel and Tourism Association, Airport Authorities of Jamaica, Micro Meditation and Blue Marlin, Tankwell Metals, Tourism Enhancement Fund, Water, Food for the Poor, Treasure Beach Women's Group, Dr. Emily McNells, PMBL, Do Good Jamaica, Do Good International, DESA Foundation, Cape Cod Love Treasure Beach Fundraiser, Creator of Hope, SEPRA Foundation, Price Smart, CPJ, National Bakery, the S Hotel, Norman Azan and the Azan family, Edward Azan. If I missed anyone, I do sincerely apologize. The Treasure Beach community thanks you tremendously for your unwavering support over the years. Our visitors who are here with us in and out of the season, who not only contributed funds, but their time as well. And also welcome and thank our new supporters, donors, and partners for their devotion in making this community better for the future generation. Thank you.
Oh no, I got tired of me. Mel works at Sandybank Primary School. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end, but in true Jamaican fashion and the love of our country, I'm going to ask you all to stand as we ask the music man to play our national anthem.
All right, so we are still here in Treasure Beach and we're caught up with the big man himself, Mr. Richardson. How are you, sir?
I am doing well. And how are you?
Not too bad. I'm sure, is this the first time in Treasure Beach, sir?
No, not at all, because just after burial we came down and we actually looked at the area and we saw the need that we definitely need to put some help to this parish, or actually to this community.
Yes, definitely. I mean, Mr. Leachin delivered the keynote address, and his message was about love and respect and working together. Well received. Awesome chairman you have there at NCB, man.
Definitely is.
All right. So during the live stream, because we're streaming live, some questions came from social media. The first thing that they have asked me to ask you, Mr. Richardson, is the donation matching was a unique feature of the Building a Better Jamaica Fund. They want to find out how that worked.
All right, it's beautiful because it's our approach to giving. So when we heard about this and we said, listen, we must help, what we did was to put in an initial $20 million. And then we said to Jamaica and overseas that any dollar you put, we will match it up to a maximum of 150 million.
Awesome. All right. So, and of course, social media trying to get into your business a whole lot. They have asked me to ask you, what has the fund raised so far in terms of monetary value? They want to know the money we raised so far.
All right, I'm gonna give you a hint.
Yes.
Right. Our target was 300 million, and we exceeded that target.
Wow. Okay. I won't get into it anymore. So you hear that, guys, from Mr. Richardson. All right. And thirdly, they're asking, what are some of the key partners NCB you're working with in terms of executing the work so far? Some of the key partners that you worked with in terms of executing so far.
All right, I don't want to leave anybody off, so yes. I'm going to pull up my phone so I can get all my execution partners. BREDS, Treasure Beach Foundation, American Friends of Jamaica, Food for the Poor, Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, MICO, Mediations, Global Empowerment Mission, that's GEM, Mustard Seed Communities, and Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM. Those are our partners.
Okay, and what would you say what has been the impact of the fund so far today?
The impact has been tremendous because what we do is to ensure that fisher folks, farmers, education, everybody get a touch of what we have. And it's not over because we mentioned earlier that we exceeded the amount of 300 million. Just to tell you that we have distributed over 310 million so far, and there's still more in the kitty.
All right, cool. Awesome day down here in Treasure Beach. What's next after today? We're celebrating today. What happens next in terms of from your side of it?
So donation today it is 395 million.
Yes.
So if I told you that 310 have been distributed so far,
yes,
there is some to go. So our work continues. We will now continue to reach out to education, continue to reach out to the small farmers, and we ensure that we not only build back, but build back better and stronger.
I want to thank you, Mr. Richardson, for being here on BOJTV, and on behalf of the entire community of Treasure Beach, I want to thank you for the great work that you and your organization that you continue to do for Jamaica and the community, as I said. Thank you very much.
The pleasure is all ours. NCB.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, so we are still here in Treasure Beach, and we have caught up with the Consul General, Mr. Oliver Mayer. How you enjoying Treasure Beach today, sir?
Excellent, excellent. Great experience.
Yes.
I came here a few days ago just to examine the damage and some of the relief efforts.
Yes.
And I was invited back to this Thanksgiving service, and it's been amazing.
Okay. Well, we're streaming live, and the team, we're very hard, very captivated by your presentation right here at BOJTV. You want to just sum up for us the message that you brought today to the audience here and the viewers online?
Well, at the Consulate General of Jamaica, Miami, we're part of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade.
Right.
And we are responsible for 13 states. And today we use the opportunity to say a big thank you to the members of our Jamaican diaspora.
Awesome.
Who gave back to Hurricane Beryl. They were part of packing containers that came here. In fact, the first plane of relief that came into Jamaica came courtesy of an introduction we did with Global Empowerment Mission. So they were able to provide relief items on the ground, tarps, generators, and ultimately they donated a very big generator that was able to service most of the community.
Awesome. All right, so in terms of the community of Treasure Beach, what's next? Because I know persons are still building back, celebrating today, but what happens after today?
Right now, the efforts has been about rebuilding roofs,
yes,
and I've been around many homes that have been rebuilt, but the work continues, and so persons can continue to give, whether to ADPEM or different groups here, America Friends of Jamaica, GEM. Food for the Poor.
Yes.
Because it's quite a bit of work still left to do. So we want to give thanks for what has been achieved so far.
Right.
Many families I visited with, they were so pleased to have a roof, and they were thankful. But there are still some houses out there that need support. I want to recognize Minister Charles. His program is a part of helping with the major ministry in charge of rebuilding, and so that continues. And so we will support in any way. We continue to support in any way we can.
All right. I want to thank you, Mr. Mayor, for talking to us right here at BOJTV. And keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. And, we invite all your followers, your millions of followers, right? Yes. You can follow the page, the Consulate General of Jamaica, Miami, on our Facebook and Instagram. You can also follow my page, Mayor Oliver, on Instagram and Facebook. We give you updates as the work that we do here in the diaspora. And again, I just want to publicly thank members of our Jamaican diaspora for your unconditional love and support, unwavering support that you can continue to give to our homeland, Jamaica.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, so we are wrapping up here. We have come to the end of a wonderful day in Treasure Beach here, Jason. Talk to your viewers in TV land.
Boy, Karen, it was such a beautiful and heartwarming thank you celebration. It is exactly what I wanted it to be. And, to have it streamed live by BOJ, honestly, that was like the first that we've ever done something like this.
Yes, definitely.
And
we're live right now.
It made sense, because someone said to me, think of the person who gave to BREDS that cannot be here.
Yes.
How can they feel connected? You should have it streamed.
Yes.
And I want to thank that person for making that suggestion. And you know, the Building Back with Love theme really took root.
Definitely.
Right? You need, sometimes you're a marketing man, sometimes you need a slogan, a theme to bring everything together.
Yes,
and I think how
now.
Dennis Abrams said it was very smart, because he said, when visitors come, we give them a lot of love.
Yes.
So when they saw us in our time of need, they gave us back the love. And I think that's really important.
Yes.
You know?
I mean, Mr. Michael Leachin, he made the time. Busy gentleman, he made the time, and he was here for you. Delivered again, Jason. You want to speak to Mike's president?
Michael Leachin is a real inspiration to me. He's a mentor to me. I watch him closely, and he's one who is humble, remains humble despite his successes in life, and he's always willing to share experiences. He's never afraid to tell you of the hardships that he's been through.
Yes.
And in his mind, the work is never done. Never done. He keeps challenging himself. He keeps giving of himself to lift other people who are less fortunate up. He himself would have had a very challenging childhood, and he and his mother, and he is always willing to share that. And I think he does it because he wants to let people know that, look here, you know, sometimes adversity brings out a resilience in you, builds your grit, and that is something that you can use in a positive way in your life.
Definitely.
So when you're in it at the time, you're going to say, boy, life is terrible, life is horrible, and you know, you see yourself as a victim. And it's not until later on that you realize that you went through that for a reason, and that you're now a stronger person, as I am here standing beside you today. You know,
Boy, Jason, I've watched, you know, I've visited you, that I've seen you in the rubble, I've seen your work, I've seen you lots of here. But I saw the stress on your face, but I watched your maneuver. And you know what I loved about you, Jason, you had your own personal challenges in terms of getting your business back together, but you were out there in the wider community assisting, getting assistance, you know. And so on behalf of St. Elizabeth, we want to thank you for the work that you continue to do for the parish and for Jamaica and the community.
That means a lot to me, Kern, you know. People say I do a lot for Treasure Beach, but I look at it the other way as well. Treasure Beach does a lot for me.
Yes.
This is my life's work. This is my purpose. And the truth of the matter is, I want to do more for even the parish. You know, my great-grandfather, Lionel Gentram, left a piece of land in Gilnock, just outside of Santa Cruz, 155 acres.
Yes.
And I want to see that land turned over to Hart. And I'd love to see a regional training school built there.
Wow.
That incorporates agriculture, incorporates sports, heavy equipment training. There's so much more that we can do, and there's nothing like seeing a young person empowered.
Yes.
And you know, even this hurricane, it brought out a lot of young people, because you know, they saw the need and they saw that, you know, support was needed, and they came forward. They didn't run away. And I think those lessons are things that are going to stay with us for a long time.
Definitely. I'm Jason. I'm looking over there and I'm seeing Mr. Earl Moxham.
Oh my God.
Earl delivered a citation. Can you just get Mr. Earl? I mean, we are going to talk to him today, Jason. He's always interviewing persons.
I will always yield my mic to
Mr. Earl Moxham in the middle. We're going to put
He's
him on
our
the spot.
local historian here.
Come right in the middle, man. You're always interviewing persons. It's our time to grill you today, Earl. Earl, you delivered I would say a lovely citation today. The presentation was awesome. You want to sum up for the viewers? We're live online on streaming. You know, when you talk to the diaspora, you know, sum up what you said today for me now.
Well, what I did today was to take a journey from Malvern, Monroe, all the way down to Treasure Beach. And it was important to put Hampton and Monroe in context because they have been so important to the educational aspirations of the people of Treasure Beach. And so you start there with the devastation wrought right up there in the hills, and then I made that journey all the way down through Round Hill. And well, Jason is very familiar with the Round Hill Road. That road historically has been so important as a link between those of us down on the plains and the mountain people, as we used to call them, up in the hills. And that was a very important contact between the people down here and the people up there. They brought their produce down to Calabash Bay and the other bays along the strip. And then, so we benefited from the produce that they would bring down. And they then bought the fish and took back up there. And I was pleased to learn that among the places they took the fish to was actually one that was Monroe. They took them up there for the boys' meals. At the time, the Monroe population was much smaller, of course.
Yes, yes.
So, and then you heard some of the names of the vendors. That's part of our history too. And then as far as the major sites of importance down here in Treasure Beach, I did not focus on the dwelling houses so much. I looked at some of the buildings that represented institutions of socialization and strength historically for the community, including St. Peter's Anglican Church, where most of the records of, you know, the marriage and the births and all of that of the people from this area, that's where those records were located. I'm not saying they were destroyed in this event, because most of them have been digitized, and some of the records, I suppose, are at Church House in Kingston. And then we come further down here and look, and again, I did not include all the locations that were affected, but a lot of our history has been touched by Hurricane Gilbert. And so even as we look at of necessity rebuilding the lives of the people, I thought it was important to remind them of elements of our history that were touched by Hurricane Beryl as well. Definitely.
Beautifully. You did it beautifully, and you did it in a way that you know, was untraditional, and you gave it the Earl Maxam magic. And we know you have your book out, and you know, I'm really encouraging persons to buy your book, because you know, you really you embody the history, and you know how to portray it you know, as though you're there yourself walking through the devastation. And you have that gift, Earl, and you know you've been blessed with it, and you're passing it on for us to enjoy, and we appreciate you. We see you, we hear you, we love you.
Thank you so much, Jason. And the truth is, I see myself as being sort of, without overstating my importance, because I don't think the individual, that I'm particularly important, but I got certain opportunities. I've had the benefit of a certain level of education, which many other members of my family did not in the early days get that benefit. So to the extent that I can use my voice and whatever creativity I've been gifted with to enhance the lives of our community, then I think it's important to do that.
So we want to thank you, Mr. Maxam, for talking to us here.
Thank you, sir.
On our live stream. And keep up the good work, sir.
All the best.
Keep up the good work.
All the best.
Yes. Jason, I think I saw Deca Morrison somewhere. And
You did.
She's right down there. We're going to try to get her before we're wrapping up. I'm getting the wrapping up signal, but I want to see if we can get in the Member of Parliament and also Deca
I don't know where the MP is.
Yeah, the MP is right. The MP is behind us.
Oh,
he's actually behind us, right behind you. He's right behind you.
He's
doing an interview. Yeah. So Jason, what? Tell me what's next. What we celebrated today? What's going to happen
you know,
next?
we still have a lot of roofs to repair. We distributed roofing material to 513 homes. Now we have this partnership with GEM, Global Empowerment Mission, who have now gone by and reinforced 41 of those roofs. Right. So we're going to keep working with them. We've given them storage space here. We're giving them logistical support to continue through that 513, and hopefully they're going to leverage more money to go to do more.
Awesome,
right?
Awesome.
So the work is far from done. So we don't want people to get the impression as though we're celebrating, meaning if them don't get help already, that is it for them. The door is closed. No, not at all. But you know, we know the Christmas is upon us, and people who get occupied with the celebrations.
Here
so
she comes.
We wanted to just pause and say thank you to our sponsors.
Definitely.
Yes, Deca Morrison.
Deca Morrison from GEM. Welcome. How are you? You can stay in the shot, Jason.
Okay. Stay here, Jason.
Yeah, I just want to ensure that we're okay. All right.
I'm trying to move my
Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while, Lake, and the last time I probably saw you was when we were sitting in the Senate. We sat in the Senate together. How are you? Yeah, man.
I'm good. You don't see I look younger from a retire.
I tell you, much younger.
From his target and Villa in Treasure Beach now, right?
All right, so Deka, you want to sum up with respect to what Jem did today? Talk to me.
Okay, all right. So the Global Empowerment Mission came here.
Yes.
Members of the diaspora, as an important part of the story, convinced Jem to come to Jamaica, right? And when they came here, they were the first to land in Jamaica. The founder was, so Beryl was the Wednesday night into Thursday morning. The founder was here on Friday.
Yes.
The plane was here on Saturday and cleared Saturday night.
Wow.
Okay. And with him, he brought tarpaulins, generators, and necessity kits, so like food and things like that for people. While he was here, they expanded and they put up half of the money for the water pumping station that powers all of Pedro Plains, right?
Yes.
And then they went on to do a roof repair program, which is what we're now currently working on. And they partnered with the National Commercial Bank Foundation. They did the matching.
Awesome.
And then since that time, we have partnered with the International Organization for Migration, which is a UN agency.
Yes.
So that's additional resources, and we're in discussions with the government also. And with Gem Caribbean now exists. There was no office in Jamaica, is a registered office in Jamaica, headquarters for the Caribbean.
Okay.
And Gem is just, here trying to help as best as it can with impact.
Awesome, you're doing a great job. What happens next from here? We celebrated, we gave thanks today. What happens next here today?
Well, we work every day. So in fact, we distribute materials from right in this. Our office is right here. And we couldn't distribute any today because we had the function. So tomorrow morning early we have to make up for what we didn't do today. So work continues every day.
All right. I'm Deka Morris. I want to thank you for talking to us here on BOJTV, and keep up the great work.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for spreading the word.
Okay. All right. So we're wrapping up. We just want to try and speak to the Member of Parliament in closing. Mr. Green, we're just going to talk to the Member of Parliament, Mr. Floyd Green. And then we'll close out with our broadcast here. We're live, Floyd. We're streaming live. Okay. We're wrapping up. We couldn't close without talking to the Member of Parliament. Of course, I want you to just, sum up for us and not tell the message that you brought today to the people of Treasure Beach.
I think, Hurricane Beryl was probably our most difficult time in this neck of the woods. For a long time, people used to speak about Ivan. They used to tell people in St. Elizabeth, Gilbert wasn't our major hurricane. Ivan was our major hurricane in terms of the damage that was done. But if you speak to anybody, they said this make Ivan look like a boy. And when you came down here the day after Beryl and you moved around, the level of devastation, the amount of roofs lost, it was really just heartbreaking. Right? But today, and what we've been through, and the fact that we can be here today celebrating rebuilding, is a testament to the resilience of the people, the hard work of the people. And what happens when you have partnership? What happens when you work together? When we came down on Thursday and the Prime Minister was here the first day after the hurricane, every road was blocked.
Yes.
Every road was blocked. And we started from that time clearing the roads to ensure that, as you heard, the truck that came in on the Saturday was able to get from Montego Bay all the way to Treasure Beach. And that's because, some local people started, went out, started to chop. I remember Councillor White got out of his house, went and started to take up and chop and using machete and start to clear. But then we mobilized the NWA, we mobilized the agencies to really move and to provide some support in clearing the way so that people could get out, could get in, that people could come look for their families. Remember, we never had electricity.
Yeah.
We never had water. We never had telecom. I probably never slept for about 2 weeks. Wow. From the Tuesday before Beryl, because I was so concerned straight through, because I was just non-stop about how can we get to the people, how can we represent their interests. But I think what this shows, Karen, is when you have strong community organizations, what can be achieved.
Yes.
And I keep saying to my communities, look at the BREDS model. Strong structure, strong leadership, incorporates the community, brings together a board, looks at the issues of the community, and mobilizes external support. Because some of the support that you see BREDS has got we couldn't get it if it were not for BREDS.
That
Because
is
they're
true.
NGO grouping,
That is true.
and they're looking to give to other NGO groupings. They're not looking to give to government. You know, GEM is mobilized around when you have disasters of this nature, but they need an underground partner.
Yes.
Who they would prefer it to be an NGO. So it's not government based, you know. American Friends of Jamaica, Food for the Poor, all of those look for strong NGO partners. I'm saying that this is an opportunity for other communities to look on.
Honorable Floyd Green, Member of Parliament, Southwest St. Elizabeth, and Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining. He's on his way. Dr. Carl White, Councillor Pedro Plains Division, Honorable Michael Leachin and wife Mrs. Sonia Leachin, Mr. Oliver Mayer, Consular General, Consulate of Jamaica, Miami, Mrs. Karen Chang, American Friends of Jamaica, Mr. William Macias, Food for the Poor, Mr. Kevin Ingram, Head of Branch Sales, NCB, and the NCB team, who we see out in full support, Mr. Earl Moxham, Senior Writer at the Glen RJR Group of Companies, and our own Treasure Beach historian, Ms. Deka Morrison, Representative of Global Empowerment Mission, GEMS. Members of the Tranquility Bay Training Campus, sponsors, donors, volunteers, beneficiaries, school principals and educators, pastors, community members, persons watching and listening online, members of the business community, members of the media, and fellow directors of BREDS, good afternoon and welcome to our Building with Love, Building with Love Thank You celebration. July 3rd, 2024 will forever be etched in our memories as a day we won't forget and one that will be remembered as part of our history. On July 4th, as early as 4 a.m., while the USA was celebrating independence and most parishes in Jamaica were operational, residents of Treasure Beach were examining the landscape of our beloved community and seeing the damages of destruction of those strong winds the night before. Zincs, boards, many downed poles, and the blocked main roads was a testament of the onslaught of Beryl. Someone jokingly said Beryl was a Category 10 hurricane. On that morning of July 4th, I journeyed to the BREDS Treasure Beach Sports Park and was left utterly speechless and further devastated. Our pavilion that 2 months prior hosted our BREDS 25th anniversary and the swearing-on ceremony for Batch 157 of the National Police College Jamaica Tranquility Bay Training Campus was destroyed. Our entire top floor and roofing was gone. Flooring was damaged, and of course, lots of structural damage to the ground floor. Fencing and courts were damaged, and of course, we're on the leg of rebuilding. They say I'm the beggar from the organization. So we continue to seek partners to help us rebuild this important community space. We're unable to continue to host events and clinics that benefit our beloved communities. And so wherever you are and you're listening, we are taking donations for our sports park. Burial wreaks havoc on all sectors of our community. It damaged schools, it damaged clinics, tourism, farming, fishing, churches, and homes were destroyed, many having to seek shelter with families and friends. Burial has left many traumatized and doing counseling sessions. But with bad comes good, and perspective is key. Looking at the glass half full instead of half empty. We experienced God's mercies. No lives were lost. We saw and continue to see the goodness and kindness of people near and far. Some are even strangers that just share a love of Treasure Beach with us. We saw that we are a loved and blessed community from the many supporters, donors, and volunteers, many of whom are here with us today. Burial united all districts within our Treasure Beach community, and together as one community, we showed resilience, determination, and a passion to rebuild. Burial reaffirmed for us at BREDS the importance and significance of public-private partnership, which is what has brought us to this milestone of our rebuilding process under the theme, Building Back with Love. Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite Mrs. Norma Moxham, Vice Chair, to do